This is Wrestling Color Podcast right here on YouTube, and I'm Stephanie. So, before we even dive into this, I want you to go ahead and thumbs up the video. I want you to subscribe. I want you to comment, and I want you to follow me on social media so you keep up on things that I do, right? That pertains to wrestling. Okay? If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, hey. So let's get started. Bray Wyatt was released from WWE. This sent shockwaves through the wrestling world, pro wrestling world, I should say. And I'm just sitting back and looking at the discourse that's taking place, and there's a lot of things that I noticed that I don't care for. I just don't understand the immediate call to troll. Everyone's running under people's comments like, yeah, well, he was fat and a loser anyway. Yeah, well, he wasn't doing nothing no way. Yeah, I don't know how y'all could be so comfortable dismissing other people because of the profession that they do. What's funny to me is if you listening, you quit your job or you got fired and you went home and you're devastated or whatever, you're going through the motions, and you get the company newsletter that you get in the mail to see what's going on with the company, or the company email, and they list the people that they have fired for that month, and your name is on the list. And at the end of that list, they go on to say, we wish all these people the best in their future endeavors, but we had to let these folks go because they were dead weight and wasn't doing anything anyway that, compelled us to keep them. You would be singing a different tune. Okay? You would be singing a different tune if someone told you, yeah, we released you because of budget cuts. Or some places don't have to tell you shit. We released you because we wanted to. This is the effects of not having a union, but that's a whole nother conversation. So the 34-year-old, a prominent member of the roster, has not appeared on WWE programs since April. So let's remember, April was WrestleMania. Last time we seen Bray Wyatt, he got pinned with what do you call that? A Randy Orton RKO. Alexa Bliss was sitting on a big toy box with black liquid dripping down her face, and Bray Wyatt disappeared into the abyss. And since then, we have been, just leveled with Alexa Bliss, takeover of the Playhouse concept, and this doll Lily. Okay? Since then. And so everyone was speculating. So when he comes back, we get Dave Meltzer, the usual dry-mouthed Dave Meltzer, because the guy needs water if he's going to be talking. All that smacking, I don't know how y'all deal with it. But he was saying that he was supposed to come back this month of August and, come back and see what's going on and what were they going to do with him. I think creative had nothing for him because they gave it all to Alexa Bliss. Pretty much. They gave it to Alexa Bliss. They literally took the Funhouse concept and gave it to Alexa Bliss and turned her into what I like to call the Lolita character. She's a grown woman trapped in a child's body doing grown woman shit, and this turns on a certain group of men in the wrestling community. She has a doll named Lily that also, Lily is a term used to describe the vagina when you're explaining things to kids. When the little girl, you're telling her about good touch, bad touch, and you say, you don't let no one touch your cookie. Now, I think you should use the proper scientific terms for private parts, but some of y'all call it a cookie, a pocketbook, I've heard Lily. That's just what it is. Y'all may not have picked that up, but I did. So, to hear that Bray Wyatt is been let go was jarring. Luke Harper passed away and he was a part of the Wyatt family along with Braun Strowman, and I forgot the other guy, Big Red. And from what I hear, Bray Wyatt took that real hard. A lot of people took Luke Harper's passing very difficult. Even Big E had difficulty with it, which is cool. Because I watched Luke Harper on Up Up Down Down. That's how I saw the more human side of these wrestlers, and he seemed like a cool, fun guy, just having a good time. And it seems like to know him was to love him. And these guys are trying to get through this, and Bray Wyatt probably had difficulty getting through that, working so close with him. So WWE announced Saturday Wyndham Rotunda was released from his contracts and wished him the best. The Bray Wyatt is 34 years old. Okay, he's a young man. Hadn't appeared on WWE since WrestleMania, and this is where we're at. So he's the son of Mike Rotunda and the grandson of Blackjack Mulligan. He made his in-ring debut in 2009 after signing with what we now know as NXT. He debuted on the main roster as Husky Harris, which was the pig that he named in the Funhouse. He was on Raw as the leader of the Wyatt family, which was extremely popular. And he was given a lot of starts and stops. Places where he should have won that belt, he lost. I think the demise of The Fiend was at Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins. He should have won. And then the last nail in the coffin was losing to Goldberg at the Super Showdown. After that, he could never recover. He couldn't recover. Whatever they were building, the supernatural situation, it just all went to shit. They tried to work it out. Somehow, Alexa Bliss was slowly incorporated into Bray Wyatt's gimmick. And then now we're here. Bray Wyatt is in a relationship with JoJo, who was the ring announcer some years ago. I think I spoke on JoJo. She got around. I'm not about to indict the woman on her sexual prowess, but there are rumors that she got with Bray Wyatt when he was married and ruined that home, or whatever the case may be, or was already ruined. They have 2 children. I believe he has 2 children with the ex-wife. So he got kids to take care of. He got things to do. Now, by no means is he broke. Ain't no way this man was having a high value contract and is broke. I'm sure he's fine financially, but he's also dealing with depression, and money does not make you happy. He is also very protective of his craft, like most people. I believe Moxley, Dean Ambrose, was also very protective of his craft. And this is the main gripe that a lot of wrestlers have with WWE, that they cannot protect themselves when you're at the mercy of creative and Vince McMahon and old people who have a vision and don't want to deviate from that. This is something that Keith Lee is dealing with right now. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. Keith Lee is done. Mia Yim has not been on TV since the dissolving of the what you call that group? I forgot. Of Retribution. Dominique Dijakovic in NXT and the matches he had with Keith Lee were fucking insane, and you look at what he's doing right now. I mean, I don't even know what to do with that. I personally think, in terms of Mia Yim, that baddie in charge shit and that kind of hood persona she was having didn't go over well with me, and I don't think it ever took hold in NXT. But her other persona in Impact seemed to be a little more popular. I think she leaned more to her Korean side, and it was a little more believable. This whole gangster, trying to use Ebonics and wrestling in Tim's, even if that was a homage to the what was the name of that the guy just died. whatever. I can't remember the group, but it was that Prime Time. If that was a homage to Prime Time, whatever. But it just didn't go over well with me. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at with this, right? So this is the issue that I'm having. Number one, with the discourse going on. This idea that rich people are smart and make good decisions is comical to me at best. Vince McMahon is a billionaire. Tony Khan's father is a billionaire. Vince McMahon is worth $1.9 billion. Okay? Whether that's assets, liquid money, whatever. That's what his worth is. Tony Khan is worth $8.1 billion. So is Tony Khan's father smarter than Vince McMahon? Because if that is what you all are leveraging on smarts, is money making, Vince McMahon is a jackass. Okay? Alright, so let's just throw that out there. He's smart. That's what he make money. He making money. I don't know how y'all defend millionaires, billionaires, and some are headed on the trillions, and you sitting in the trailer or standing outside and trying to figure out how to pay for your roof or trying to figure out how to get the rent. I will always say this, and this is something I learned. In order, this is a philosophy. If you take philosophy class, SIS or whatever, in order to be a millionaire, billionaire, businessman, hedge fund, whatever, in order to be Henry Ford, Rockefeller, Johnson, and Michael Jordan, all these people, in order to be at this level, I wouldn't even include black millionaires and billionaires. Jay-Z, Puff Daddy, I think is a billionaire. Yeah. In order to be in this position, you have to be devoid of consciousness. It's just simple as that. You cannot have a conscience and sit on that amount of money and see everyone around you having difficulty and simply say, those people can't do it because they're stupid. I did it because I'm smart. It takes more to be a millionaire. It's literally the roll of the dice and the luck of the draw, amongst other things that were put into place to get this world moving in the direction that it's moving in. And it's not moving in a good direction. You understand? I think Jeff Bezos blasting into space and then coming down in a 10-gallon hat and laughing at the idea that he spent whatever billions, which was literally a drop in the bucket to his billions, to go into space for 10 minutes. I want to thank my employees and workers at Amazon because y'all made this possible. You won't even let employees at Amazon unionize to get the proper things that they need to make sure that their family's healthy and safe. And y'all consider Jeff Bezos smart. No, Jeff Bezos was at the right place at the right time. Timing is everything. And if you come at the wrong time, that is where you will then have to work your way out of whatever position you're in because of timing. That is why this man, Tony Khan's father, is worth $8.1 billion and Vince McMahon is worth $1.9 billion. You understand? So I suggest y'all figure out what y'all got going on. Not to mention, these men are educated in what is considered the quote-unquote the elite. Most of us will never step foot in Harvard or step foot in elite institutions around the world. But if you got the social capital and the money to do it, and you got that roll of the birth dice, and you just so happen to be born to rich parents, you get access to that world. Y'all need to do better than that. Now, why do I say that? Vince McMahon made a comment that I didn't like, but for whatever reason, y'all enjoyed it, and it's really indicative to Bray Wyatt. It's indicative to America and politics as a whole, and why there's a problem with millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, and the people in charge. Let me tell you what he said. He said, and I quote, it was a call for investors on July 29th. He was talking to stockholders and investors, okay? I don't know what y'all thought he was supposed to say to these people, but he better tell them what the fuck they want to hear, because they're putting money into this company, and I want a fucking return. And that's why the United States is being run the way it's run, because people are putting money into this place called company, and they want a fucking return by hook or crook. This is what this man, Vince McMahon, billionaire, fixed his fucking mouth to say about his former talent. I'm not sure what AEW's investments are as far as their talent is concerned, but perhaps we can give them some more. The initial impression many got was Vince McMahon was joking that his company could release more wrestlers for Tony Khan to sign. That take led wrestlers who have been cut over the past couple of years to react. Maria Kanellis and her husband were signed to 5-year contracts worth $500,000 apiece, $1 million combined, so they don't go to AEW or any other promotion for that matter. When AEW kicked off 2 years ago, she said, "Wow, to think of human beings as pawns on a chessboard. That must be one of the most elitist things I've heard in a while. I can never think of mothers, children's fathers, people in that way. People are people. Pain with people's lives is cruel." Carl Anderson, who left, who was with the Good Brothers and was getting them two, please. They left. They were offered 6-figure deals just so they don't go to AEW. They ended up going to Impact, but they've been on AEW TV because of their, cross promotion. He said, the amount of unhappy texts I get from people there, well, the whole professional wrestling world is waiting for y'all. Okay? You got Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW, New Japan. It's more reality of wrestling, which is Booker T's promotion, is never in the conversation, and Booker T regularly cranks out wrestlers for WWE to snap up. I don't know if that's going to be their funnel as well, but there's plenty of promotions outside of AEW. There's plenty of promotions outside WWE. But because these people grew up with WWE, they figured that's their fantasy to, reach the pinnacle, which is WWE. And then they get there and get fucked over. Not to mention the racism, the sexism, the classism, the elitism that comes out of WWE's culture. All the things we hear. And it seems to be like, oh, well, they couldn't hack it. I think that's disgusting. And I think that's also indicative of Bray Wyatt and the way he's been handled throughout his career. Not winning the belt when the storyline calls for the natural progression of the character to win the belt. He don't win the belt. We saw that at Hell in a Cell. Bray Wyatt was ready to win the belt. It made sense. He lost the belt. And then y'all put the last nail in the coffin when he lost to Goldberg at Super Showdown. A fucking 60-year-old man was able to spear a 36-year-old man who was supposed to be super fucking natural. Speared him into the ground, took the goddamn belt. He ain't never recover. Could never recover. Then y'all brought him back, kept getting his ass whooped, put him with Alexa Bliss. She absorbed his character. He been going ever damn since. We've been stuck with Alexa Bliss and this whole Lily shit. And they going forward with the Lily shit because now it's going to be a Lilylution on Raw. You can't make this shit up. I'll say it before and I say it again. To put value on people as if they're products and commodity, we've been there, done that. We've been there and done that. And it's been done around the world, not just in the United States. Turning people into commodity in order for you to make money. Now, the ones who are in good positions, they don't got shit to say about that. They ain't gonna have nothing to say because they're in a good position until the position happens to them. And then it's like, oh, well. So now we here with the blowback. Now we're dealing with the blowback, right? Alexa Bliss went on to tweet, and she went on to tweet, I'm really at a loss for words. Thank you so much, Wyndham, for everything you've done for this company. The most fun I've had is working with you. Such an amazing talent and the most kind person. I'm just in shock. And so she ended up having to close her Twitter after making that tweet because everybody's like, well, bitch, what are you even talking about? I think it's real weird when workers say thanks for what you did for the company. You know why? Because she's in a damn good position with the company. She's in a real comfy position with the company. So she's going to put the company, she made the comment about the company first, and then the comment about the person fired. It's really bizarre to me. And listen, I'm not talking about Alexa Kaufman. She could be a cool ass woman. I don't know. Although on Divas, you know, her coming across the screen on WWE Total Divas didn't do her no favors, but it didn't do Nia Jax any favors either. It damn sure didn't do any favors for Natalya. But I think her tweet was bizarre. I think this is interesting though, because the person that I'm reading next, she, you know, y'all call her bitter, which you know, y'all love throwing that word around. It's very dismissive. It's not what it is, but whatever. Mickie James, who's only 40, over there on Impact, she's about to have an all-women's exhibition coming up, and now all of a sudden we're about to get Queen of the Ring, but that's another conversation for another podcast topic. Mickie James has something to say. Now, we remember Mickie James was released unceremoniously throughout her career, especially against Alexa Bliss. She was pitted as an elderly old woman all the time. When her and Alexa Bliss had a storyline, at one point Alexa Bliss told her to get a walker and take her old ass to the nursing home, and Mickie James was 34, 35 years old at the time. Never understood it. But I guess standing next to 4'11" Alexa Bliss, who was at that time in her mid-20s, you can do a storyline like that. Always was confusing to me. Then she was released and they sent her clothes in a garbage bag, and she made a tweet about it. People got fired, heads was rolled, and we come to find out this is usual behavior. It is nothing that doesn't happen all the time. So Mickie James had to come out and, you know, cool. She said, and I quote, I think what you meant to say was, thank you so much for coming up with such an incredible gimmick, time and time again. One so cool and over, we really didn't know how to book it right, so we just gave it to someone else so we can still make all the money off of it and let you go. I don't see anything she said wrong, because that's exactly what happened. Anyone else, everybody else, well, you bitter. No, that's exactly what happened, and we saw the shit in real time. I think that's the best place I could leave it, because honestly, what else is there to say? That's indicative of value. That's indicative of commodity. That's y'all talking about how billionaires are so smart. That's basically pro wrestling wrapped up. Oh, well, it's a business. It's a business. It's a business. It's a business. Until the business runs you the fuck over and you don't know what to do with yourself. And then you want empathy and you want people to understand where you're coming from. But you can't even empathize with these people. These are real people outside of wrestling. These are real, live human beings. Is it fair that Alexa Bliss is getting ran down? No, probably not. But I think her tweet was bizarre. Bizarre as fuck. Lastly, does he need to go to AEW? Who the fuck? If he goes to AEW, so what? So Matt Hardy went to AEW and finally realized that woken shit he was doing does not translate outside of, I guess, Impact or where the fuck he was doing that shit at. Because I didn't like it. Now he floating. Fine. Maybe Bray end up on Ring of Honor or Impact, or maybe he goes to New Japan. Who the fuck cares where he goes? But wherever he goes, he'll be able to be creative, do what he want to do, and get the space to do it. I'll never forget, and I'm going to leave it at this. Jon Moxley said, WWE has a way of taking the one thing you love, taking it from you, and trying to devalue you on the way out the door. And y'all to this day still don't get what Jon Moxley said. You'll get it one day till the shit happens to you. That's all. Till the shit happens to you, then you'll understand. This is Wrestling Color Podcast right here on YouTube. Thumbs up the video. Hit me in the comments. Tell me what you think. And I'll catch up to y'all later. Deuces.